Hi students, hope everyone is fine and safe. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to my new video. And today we're going to start a new lecture series for this particular subject, analog and digital communication. And this is going to be the very first video for this particular lecture series. And in this video we will see introduction, overview of the syllabus, why you need to study this particular subject, analog and digital communication in this particular semester, and we'll see the importance of communication system as well. I'll start with this particular question, why you need to study this particular subject, analog and digital communication. My students, this particular subject is going to be a very important subject for your career. You are studying this particular subject in your 6th semester, and it is going to be very vital subject for your placement, first thing. And apart from placement, the very important thing is being an electronics and communication engineer, you should know about basics of communication, right? So far, till second year, you have studied the electronics part, right? You have studied different circuits, digital electronics, and all those things. And now we are starting with communication, right? And this is going to be very basics for communication. Being a communication engineer, you have to know what is communication first of all, right? What are the important elements of communication and what are the different aspects of communications like modulation, right? Sampling, quantization, all those things. And this particular subject is going to be a very core subject where you will learn all the basics about the communication. You will start with what is communication and you will study about modulation, what are the different receivers, transmitters, what are the different modulation techniques, digital modulation techniques, right? Baseband transmission, all those things. You will cover everything in this particular subject. And as I said, uh, you are studying in the 6th semester, so it's going to be a very important subject for your placement as well. That is, if you attend any core companies, being an electronics and communication engineer, right, you will be expected to answer very basic questions from communication. So this is going to be a very important subject for that. And apart from it, for your GATE preparation, right, if you're preparing for GATE exam, this subject is very, very important. You will get around 12 to 15 percentage of marks of questions from this particular subject, analog and digital communication. Right, overall from communication system, you will get around 15%, maximum of 15 percentage of marks can be achieved in GATE exam. So this is the importance of this particular subject, and that is why you need to study this particular subject with utmost care, right? And apart from that, the overview, like after learning this particular subject, the outcome of the subject will be like you will know about different analog modulation techniques from first unit, and from second unit you will learn about different transmitters and receivers. You will know its performance, right, how it works, and you will learn about demodulation and detection of received digital data. And in unit 4 you will study about passband techniques for real-time applications, and as well as information theory and channel capacity. So after studying this particular course, this is the course outcome where you will have knowledge about all these things after studying this particular subject, right? So we will see the syllabus of this particular subject where in unit 1, you will mostly concentrating on modulation techniques, right? What is the need for modulation? What are the different types of modulation? And what are the different methods to generate different modulation waveforms? You will study about analog modulation, that is amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, phase modulation, their types, their generation, right, and their comparison. Everything will be studied in unit 1. And in unit 2, you will study about radio transmitters and receivers, where you will concentrate on AM transmitter and receiver. And this is very important unit where you will know more things about how a radio transmitter will work, right? What is the important components in it, how we will tune that particular components, all those things you will study, right? And very importantly, a receiver, super heterodyne receiver, FM super heterodyne receiver, all those are very, very important. And in unit 3, you will study about baseband and digital modulation techniques, right? First, being a communication engineer, you have to understand what is baseband signal, right? And what is baseband technique, right? I'll explain you everything in this course, right? First of all, you are understand baseband is nothing but the original message signal. Baseband signal is nothing but original message signal, right? So if you're going to transmit the message signal directly without performing any modulation, without adding any carrier signal, then that particular transmission is called as baseband transmission. And in this unit, you will study about baseband transmission. What are the baseband modulation techniques? You will study about PAM, PWM, PPM, and you will study about different digital pulse modulation techniques like delta modulation, adaptive delta modulation, all those things you will study in this particular unit. And in unit 4, you will study about passband transmission system, where in passband, you will add, what is meant by passband transmission? Passband transmission is adding a carrier. It can be also called as carrier transmission, where you will add a carrier signal and then you will transmit, right? So you will study the complete digital modulation techniques where BPSK, BFSK, QPSK, all those things you will study in this particular unit, right? And from this particular explanation, you can able to understand what is baseband transmission and what is passband transmission as well. If you're going to transmit the message signal directly without performing modulation, then that is called as baseband transmission. If you're going to transmit the message along with the carrier by performing modulation, then that is called as passband transmission, right? And in unit 5, you'll study about information theory and channel capacity, where this is very easiest unit, and you will study about channel capacity coding theorem and more problems you will see in this particular unit, right? And while studying this particular subject, right, while studying the theoretical concepts, please go through all the formulas, everything, where for gate preparations, you will have a lot of problems from this particular subject, especially from modulation, demodulation techniques, information capacity, information theory, channel capacity, all those things you will have problems, right? And this is the overview of the syllabus, and these are the reference books, but I prefer you to use Simon Hacken for communication system, where you will cover most of this syllabus in that particular book. And to start with, we'll start with introduction to communication system. Right? What is communication? First of all, we know that communication is exchange of information from one location to the other, right? And for that exchange of information, we know that we need to send a message. That is, a transmitter will be involved, a receiver will be involved, and a channel will be involved, right? So we have to transmit a message from transmitter, right, through channel, and the receiver will receive that particular message, right? And a complete communication system will have a source, a destination, and a channel, right? Through channel, we will transmit the message. So that is what I have given in this particular slide, where you can understand what is source, what is destination, what is flow of information, right? And what is electronic and communication system, right? Electronic and communication system, we know that communication is transfer of information, right? Whereas electronics and communication system is something where we transmit, the whole mechanism of sending and receiving will happen electronically from source to destination. And for example, it can be a radio, telephony, broadcasting, mobile communication, computer communication, all those things, right? But for this communication system, frequency bands plays a very vital role. When it comes to frequency bands, you have to know about the regulatory components, the avoiding interference, hardware compatibility, right? Its performance, global interoperability, all those things you have to know, right? And for effective communication, the spectrum, the electromagnetic spectrum is itself divided into, we have divided the electromagnetic spectrum into various frequency ranges, right? Right from extremely low frequency to extremely high frequency. The complete electromagnetic spectrum is divided into various frequency bands, right? Whereas you can see this tabulation where it starts from extremely low frequency. It starts from 3 kilohertz, right? And for each and every frequency, we have certain propagation method and certain applications, right? And depending upon the applications, we select the modulation techniques, we select the transmitters, the receivers, everything. So frequency selection is very, very important depending upon the application. For that, you got to know what is what are the different frequency bands and what are their applications, what are their mode of propagation, and that is what given here, right? So when it comes to extremely low frequency, it is 3 kilohertz, and very low frequency VLF 3 to 30 kilohertz. Similarly, low frequency 30 to 300 kilohertz, right? Medium frequency 300 to 3000 kilohertz, and so on, right? And you can see the corresponding mode of propagation and corresponding primary uses, right? And it's not only up to super high frequency, there is extremely high frequency which is in gigahertz from 30 to 300 gigahertz. This is extremely high frequency, and this frequency can be segregated into different bands, like you can see Ka band, R band, Q band, V band, W band, and millimeter wave, band, and infrared, visible light, ultralight, right? So these are the different bands for extremely high frequency, and you can see these are the corresponding frequency bands, right? And you have to be very specific about this frequency bands and their corresponding frequencies, so that you can for any applications, right? Say for example, if you're going to design an antenna for a particular application, right? Then you have to select what is the frequency range. Say for example, if you're going to design an UWB antenna, then it has to work from 3.1 to 10.6 gigahertz, like that, right? So every application is based upon the frequency bands, right? So you have to definitely know what is the frequency bands, right? What is the corresponding frequency and what is the applications of it, right? So this establishment is very, very important. And now, what are the different terms it comes to communication? We know that communication is transfer of message from a source to destination, right? So definitely the important elements is message, transmitter, and receiver, right? And apart from it, there is something called transducer. What is transducer? Transducer is a device which converts one form of an energy to the another form, right? And here, for this particular type of communication, transfer of electrical signal, right, from one part to the other, right? The first thing what we have to do here is we'll have the original message, right? That original message will be sent to the input transducer. This is the very important area of transmitter. This is transmitter, right? So the original message from the source, it will be sent to the input transducer. The input transducer is the one which converts this original message into an electrical signal that is suitable for transmission. A very good example is a microphone, right? A microphone which converts a sound energy into an electrical energy, right? So that will be acting as an input transducer. So now it receives the audio signal, sound energy, and converts it into an electrical energy, right? And that particular electrical energy is transmitted through the channel, right? And it will reach the receiving end. And receiving end, you will have something called output transducer. What is output transducer? That will be in the receiver. The output transducer will convert that electrical signal back to the original message, right? Like a good example is loudspeaker, which converts the electrical energy into a sound energy, so that you can able to receive the original message, right? So, and these signals, right, this conversion from message to an electrical signal and electrical to message signal, this is very, very important, and it will be done by input transducer and output transducer. So for a signal to transmit, you need all these functions, right? And if it now in an overall perspective, right, apart from transmitter, receiver, this transducer plays a very vital role, right? And coming to the elements of communication, you can see this is the elements where you can see the information source, transmitter, channel, receiver, destination, and the noise, right? Where inside the transmitter itself, you'll have the input transducer, and as well as the receiver, you'll have the output transducer, right? And you know what is the information source? Information source is the original message that has been transmitted, right? And it will be converted into electrical signal and transmitted from the transmitter. So the channel can be a wired medium or an guided medium or unguided medium. That is, can be a wired or wireless, right? And receiver, as I explained before, what the receiver will do, it receives this particular signal from the channel, right? And then what it will do, uh, it will obtain that particular information, the original information. It will remove the original information, and that information will be sent to the destination, right? And definitely you will have noise, right? Irrespective of whatever channel in communication, definitely there will be a noise, right? And there will be a lot of techniques we will see in further videos to reduce this particular noise. But noise is an important aspect in communication as well, right? So, what is information source? The information source is the original message. It can be a voice, data, video, or in any form. And transmitter, as I said, that transmits the original message. But before transmitting the original message, it will convert that original message into an electrical signal, and then it will transmit the original message, right? And then channel. The channel is the medium where it is a link between the source and the destination. And for this particular transmission system, there are a lot of performance factors like capacity, performance, distance, security, and cost. When it comes to cost, the installation and as well as operation, maintenance cost, everything is important, right? And channel can be either a guided medium or unguided medium. Unguided medium is wireless, whereas guided medium is wired communication. And I've explained what is receiver as well. Receiver is the one which receives the electrical signal, and then it converts that to the original information, that it removes that original information from the received signal. It converts the electrical signal, right, to the original message, and then it is sent to the destination, right? And this signals, right, it can be an electrical signal or electromagnetic signal. Even on the transmitter side, right, it can convert the original message to an electrical signal or an electromagnetic signal. And while receiving this particular signal, you have a lot of other factors, other stages as well, like amplification, frequency conversion, filtering, all those things. We will study all those things in further videos, right? So these are the important elements of communication. And you have some limitations as well, right? When it comes to communication system, right? We know that we need transmitter, receiver, right? We need filters, all those things. So definitely we need hardwares, so it will be expensive and complex. Bandwidth and noise. Noise is a very important constraint in communication, and noise can affect the communication. And similarly, bandwidth also a very important parameter. And this bandwidth has to be very effective. But if there is more bandwidth, like if it is more bandwidth, then the number of stations will be limited, right? But if it is more bandwidth, we can able to transmit more number of data, right? So there should be a significant trade-off between the bandwidth and as well as the channel, right? And very important, another parameter is signal to noise ratio. Signal to noise ratio, a very important parameter where it tells you, it is the ratio between signal to noise. How much amount of noise is present in that particular signal, right? And it has to be, the signal to noise ratio has to be very high, right? So that the communication will be very effective, right? Which means the noise has to be very low, right? The noise power has to be very low than the signal power, right? But noise cannot be avoided. So these are the very important limitations of communication system. So today what we have seen is, we have seen the importance of this particular subject, analog to digital communication. And I've explained what basics about communication, what is communication, what are the elements of communication. I believe this video will be very useful for you. Thank you, my dear students.